What's up, everybody? Wanted to share with you all my take on. So, thank you, Edwin Arister, who invited me to a Momentum Education Tuesday evening event. It's an opportunity to kind of review some of the things and what people have gotten from this past week or this past weekend. It's like a Thursday, Friday night, and then all of Saturday and Sunday where you work on something called blind spots, where you're able to dig deeper into. Um, so a blind spot is a good way of describing it is it's a awareness or something that you don't know that you don't know. So for instance, one of the exercises that we worked on yesterday was there's three parts. So you pair up and then you sit facing each other. And the first exercise is like agree with everything they say. And that exercise was pretty cool. It's like very empowering. I talked about buying a house or buying a condo in Midtown East as my goal. So the question prompt was, what's a goal that you haven't reached yet? So that was mine. So that was a really cool experience. And the second portion was disagree with everything that someone says, and that definitely made me feel bad that I disagree with a lot of the things that my girlfriend says. So it was awesome and vulnerable to know that even though I've done so much work through landmark and accomplishment coaching, there's certain areas of my life that I'm not willing to shift. And one of the biggest breakthroughs is knowing like how bad. And so that brings me to the third lesson, which was just completely ignore the person. So my person that or Michael, who sat across from me, also wanted to buy a home, more specifically in Long Island. But I would say things like, and the purpose of the exercise was to ignore them. Um, but essentially, it was almost like too easy to ignore him, which really gave me the awareness of how much I've been ignoring my girlfriend when she talks about certain topics. So that definitely didn't make me feel good, but it is good to have that awareness. And it's nice to know that it's something that I'm committed to changing. So thank you, Sammy, for putting up with me not listening to you. And yeah, yesterday I made a commitment that I will listen better. So when I got back home, I was able to just listen to her much better. Obviously, this is a practice that I would continuously um, get support from. Luckily, Edwin is someone who I respect and admire very much. And this is something we'll talk about very frequently. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty cool experience. I saw a lot of similarities to Landmark because I know that their founder and Werner Erhard, who started Landmark, started from the same. It's called Life Springs, which is a ontological coaching program. So there's been a lot of different coaching programs that have evolved from it. But it was really cool to see how authentic and genuine people were being about. There was a guy that talked about how he wasn't able to open up and be vulnerable, especially in a crowd of, I think there was probably, if I was to guess, like 60 people there. So being vulnerable in front of 60 people and going up to the mic and speaking to essentially half the room was strangers, right? Because it was guests that the graduates have brought. Um, yeah, so it was really cool to see people practicing being vulnerable and being in the conversation and being in the self-development space. It's always inspiring, and it's always a good refresher. That event, I got there at 7:30 and it ended around 9:08. So it was about a little bit less than 2 hours, but I got a lot out of just less than of a 2 hour experience. And I actually ran into Rachel as well, who is someone who I met through my previous role. So it was really cool, like just reconnecting with her. And yeah, life brings you all these amazing surprises. And the next conversation or the next training that Edwin and I have is called Next Level Training, which is also stems from the same founders. It's an emotional intelligence training, and that takes place in Philly. So super excited about that, and I can't wait to share with you guys my adventures. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing day.